Hi, I am Dane Hatcher with Service Thread. This video is part of our series of Class 7 troubleshooting guides. This may be helpful for other style machines, but this is primarily for the Class 7 style machines. Singer 733 machines, Console 733R machines, Seiko 2B machines, our own Service Class 7, and the many other clone machines. For this video, we'll be using our Service Thread Class 7 machine. I hope this helps you, and thank you for watching. If your machine is skipping, breaking thread, shredding thread, or if the needle's been bent, you want to stop sewing and check your timing immediately. This is something that any operator should know how to do. First, you make sure your machine is powered down. Then you remove the needle bar cover if it is equipped, and the throat plate, which some people call the needle plate, the cloth plate, and the feed dog if you need more view. I went ahead and removed them for this video so I can give better viewing angles. After all this is removed, you want to turn the machine so that the needle is in its fully down position. Turn it by hand. Then you keep turning slightly the direction that the machine actually turns when sewing until the very tip of the shuttle is beside the needle. And you stop there, and this is where you make your checks and adjustments if they're needed. Before this, you also want to change the needle to a new needle because it could be bent. So the needle eye itself is an oval. So you want to measure from the top of that eye to the very tip of that shuttle. Make sure that's about 1/8 of an inch. If it's much more or less, then the timing is probably off. And you would come up here, loosen these screws, move the needle bar up or down as is needed. Also make sure the needle is straight. The needle bar is straight, so this clamp screw right here will be parallel with the machine. If it's not, it could hit this mechanism back here. So after this adjustment and after this is made sure it's straight, make sure the needle itself is straight, you would just loosen the screw in this clamp and turn it so the needle eye points straight towards the back of the machine. Second thing you would check, and before you check this, you want to clean between the race plates. Make sure there's no lint or anything in there because the shuttle itself can move side to side if it's dirty. So you would check the gap between the very tip of the shuttle and the needle. Make sure it's not thicker than a business card thickness gap. If it is, you loosen the screw down below this bracket here. So this bracket holds the race and the shuttle. You can loosen that screw and then allow you to move this side to side. You'll move it forward so that the shuttle tip is close to the needle, as close as possible without touching. Then you would check this shuttle driver after you tighten that down. The shuttle driver should barely touch the needle, actually. It stops the needle from going in front of the shuttle. So you can move this sideways after making an adjustment, of course. You would make sure this is barely touching the needle. It stops the needle from getting in front of the shuttle and getting damaged. Then you come back on that same shaft. There's 2 collars on that shaft, one in the front, one in the back. So you want the one in the front, you loosen it up. Make sure that they're spread out. Make sure this is in place. Push it as far as possible to the front, hold that in place, and tighten it down. Then you'll have a little bit of play as the back one's not tight yet. The front one's tight. Just make sure it's tight. Come to the back one, push it out towards the back, tighten it down, and you're good to go. So timing is set at this point, but you want to make sure that the shuttle itself is not damaged. It could have a burr that you can't see. I mean, you may see it, but feel it. Make sure there's nothing there that you can't see. If there is, you would take the whole shuttle out, smooth it with some medium to fine sandpaper, only from the right hand side. Do not smooth from the left hand side, or you do move the gap between the tip and the needle. Put it back in, and then while we're here, I'll also show how to check for non-user serviceable timing. So needle all the way down, there's a gap between the shuttle tip and the needle. Turn the machine so that the needle lifts up and see how far it lifted when the shuttle tip is beside the needle. If it lifts more than 1/4 of an inch or less than 1/8 of an inch, there could be something internally wrong with the machine. So this should only be done if you've set timing and you've made sure everything else is good and you're still having problems. Something inside the machine could be wrong. See, this one lifts about 3/16 of an inch, and that's perfect. The needle also drops down in the chamfered portion of the shuttle. It should drop down near the center of it. If it doesn't, there could be an issue, but only check this if you check timing, reset timing, and it still has an issue. Then from here, you just reassemble the machine, make sure everything's clean, test it out, and that should be it. Again, this is Dane Hatcher with Service Thread, and this was setting timing of a Class 7 style sewing machine. Thank you.